Hello to my fans, my supporters, my followers, my subscribers. This is your girl Wilma Young, aka Foxy Wilma, coming to you with another video. This video is gonna be serious in nature and everything because I feel like it's time that I talk about this certain topic and everything, and I'm gonna be talking about the times that I felt low, the times that I felt depressed, and also the times that I felt suicidal and everything, because yesterday was a day that I felt really low. I wasn't suicidal, but I just felt really low, and I felt that I just had to cry it out and everything. And just to talk about a little bit about why I was crying yesterday, basically I'm pursuing someone that I'm really into or whatever, and we're taking a little bit of a break, and it's kind of hard for me to take a break from someone that I want to basically possibly spend the rest of my life with and everything, and not to be able to hear their voice on a constant basis, on a daily basis, and there's on top of that distance in between us. It is kind of hard to as I say, accept that and everything. But I realized that this individual, they need their space. I can't be clingy and everything. But I just had to cry it out because I feel so much for this particular person and everything, and it overwhelmed me yesterday and everything. So I just cried it out and everything, and I'm slowly feeling better because I'm an optimistic person, because I believe that this individual that I'm talking about, that we are going to become something special and anything. So I'm taking each day at a time and anything, because I'm like this, that is in God's hands and everything, because this individual that I'm talking about, we are talking for a reason and everything. Yeah, so that's why I got emotional yesterday and everything. But in the time of me being that emotional and everything, and just crying my eyeballs out and everything, it made me reflect on the times that I've been really low in my life so far and everything. And there will be times that I'm gonna be low, because every day ain't a sunny day. That's not life. That's not life. But it's how you deal with those days that matter and everything. Because if you let yourself go really, really low, then that's when problems arise and everything. And you can't stay in that lowness. You have to take it for what it is, and then try to seek help if you need help and everything. You gotta keep moving forward. Can't stay there. Gotta keep moving forward and everything. So basically, this is a reflection type of video, to for me to reflect on the times that I've been low, and share with y'all those times and everything. And then hopefully with me sharing this or whatever, it can help someone else out and everything with my sharing and everything. So let me see, let me go back in the Wayback Machine. Wow. Okay, so this is of course this happened years and years and years and years ago and everything. First time I felt depressed and low is when I realized that I wasn't biologically a female. And this was probably 4 or 5 and everything. When I realized that I was born into a male body, and I had the genitalia that I had and everything, it depressed the hell out of me, because I felt to my core that I was a girl, and that this is not right. This is not right and everything. And at that young age, I didn't know how to express that feeling, and I didn't know who I could trust in my family. So I basically kept all that bottled up and everything. And over time it depressed me, because I buried it. I buried it the best that I possibly could and everything. But things that you try to bury, they will always come to the surface. They'll always come up to the surface, because you know, at that young age or whatever, and like, you know, hanging around like, you know, different kids and everything, because in the neighborhood, I had a best friend, and my best friend, he lived next door to me and everything, and you know, we played basketball, baseball, what's it, kickball, going to swing set together and everything, and then across the street, I had another friend who her and I, we got together sometimes and we played and everything. But this is where, you know, I started pick up on the fact that, you know, that I was different and everything. One time my best friend had like a sleepover with the rest of the boys in the neighborhood, and I was invited too. And I went over there, and at this young age, like, you know, I like my best friend that way. Like I had a crush on him and everything. And when I was around all these other boys, and especially one of the boys was like the neighborhood bully, who, like, you know, would pick on me and everything. And in my young brain, I was thinking to myself, like, why is he picking on me? Like, I didn't do nothing to him. Why is he doing this to me? And I guess now that I'm, like, you know, older, I guess that he had picked up on the fact that, like, you know, I was sensitive in nature, and that he could see the girlness in me, and that I just did not belong in that boy group and anything. So he picked on me and stuff. So when I was over at the sleepover at my best friend's house and everything, I just felt out of place. Like, I just felt like, you know, I don't belong here. And I was depressed and low, feeling low and everything. So, you know, I asked, like, you know, I was like, I want to leave, I want to go home and everything. And so I didn't stay for that sleepover and everything. I remember I went back home, laid in my bed, and basically, I think I probably cried and everything, because I was like, you know, I was upset because, like, I just had this feeling of, like, you know, like, I just don't fit. I just don't fit with them and everything. And I could, at that young age, I couldn't process what was going on with me. But I had a sense, like, you know, I was different. And it depressed me. It just depressed me because, like, I couldn't express it and everything. So, and then another part of me was like, this is something you just don't share. Because the background that I've come from is African American, Baptist, Southern Baptist. And through my years, I learned that if you're different from the norm, you're shunned on, your family can kick you to the curb, and you could be out in the streets. So I had a sense of that. When I was, like, very young. So I was like, I'm gonna keep this to myself. I'm gonna bury this. I'm gonna bury this. And with burying it and not being able to express my true self, that depressed the hell out of me, because that was the start of me, like, you know, not smiling. I would never smile. Like, I always had a serious face. I always, like, you know, was trying to, like, you know, constantly keep myself occupied and everything, because I didn't have a label for it at that young age. But I come to find out, like, you know, I just didn't want to deal with my gender conflict and everything. So I just stowed it away and everything. I was like, let me keep myself occupied. And that's what I always did. I always kept myself occupied. I was doing something active, because I'm a Sagittarius. I was born December 3rd, 1981. So I was either dancing, playing basketball, reading comic books, watching movies, reading books, to keep myself occupied. Like, I kept myself busy. That's what I'm saying. I kept myself busy so I wouldn't have to, like, reflect on, like, you know, my gender issue and everything. And with doing that, it didn't work. It obviously didn't work, because if it worked, you know, I wouldn't have, you know, done what I did to my physical appearance and everything. So I was depressed. And then another layer of that depression came shortly. My parents got divorced and everything at that young age, and I walked in on something that I wish I never walked onto and everything. I witnessed my father, like, you know, basically, he threw my mom up against the, you know, bedpost, the head of the bed and everything. And that was, like, you know, the end of, like, you know, my immediate family. So with dealing with that too, on top of like, my gender issues, I was depressed because like I am a daddy's girl. I love my father. At a young age, I always wanted to be around my father. I'm not a mama's girl. I am not. I love my mama, but we don't click like that and everything. So I'm a daddy's girl. And so not to be able to have my father around me, it devastated me. Like, it really devastated me and stuff. And so, like, in the video that I titled Dream Killers, I was talking about my stepfather. So, in my heart to heart, I felt like, my mom, she couldn't be by herself. So she felt like she just had to have somebody and everything. So she met my stepfather. And this is where the other layer of the depression comes on and anything. Because, see, I'm already depressed that, my gender, my family being broken up by the divorce, and now my stepfather's paranoia, emotional abuse bullshit. There's three things that's like, depressing me and making me low and everything. So talk about that aspect. So my stepfather came into my life, and at first, it was all cookies and cream, as they say. He was a nice guy. But basically, as they say, he was fronting. He wasn't showing his true colors. He didn't show his true colors to me, because like I can't speak for my brother and anything. I can only talk about my experiences. He didn't show his true colors to me until the day we went to Panama, and I think this was the year like 1990 or 1991, because we was down in Panama outside the country for like 2 years and anything. And I distinctly remember we was on a plane or whatever, and he said something to me about why you in the way, or it was the way he said it. I can't remember exactly, but I just got like this sense, like, living down here outside the country, away from my other family members, is gonna be hell on earth. And you know what? I was right. It was hell on earth and everything, because this guy, when I explain all this to someone, it's like, wow, I can't believe that happened. And anything like, seriously? I'm gonna say this. My brother and I, we felt like, we were like, outsiders in our own family. Like, we felt apart from the family and anything. And our stepfather made us feel that way and anything by like not including us, having us like, eat different things from our other brothers and sisters. See, I don't call my brothers and sisters that my mom had with my stepfather, I don't call them stepsister or stepbrother, because I don't believe in that bullshit. I mean, we brothers and sisters. That's how I see it. And anything. So my stepfather was like, he was like, well, my kids eat the sugar cereal. Let's see, me and my brother, we young. We young. We not at our age and anything. Because at that time in the day, eating cornflakes was like, what? Cornflakes is whack. Eating cream of wheat, what? That shit is whack. Like, we wanted, like, Camp Crunch, Lucky Charms, fucking Fruit Loops, fucking, what's that cinnamon cereal? I can't remember. Cinnamon Twist or whatever type of cereal. But, we eat that sugar cereal, and we felt like, we was, like, separate from, like, our other brothers and sisters. Like basically, they got all the good shit, and my brother and I, we got the whack shit. We got the whack shit and everything. And for prime example, on my birthday was not celebrated. For years, it was not celebrated and anything. It was because, like, my favorite dessert is chocolate cake, because my grandma makes a mean chocolate cake. Because if y'all follow me closely, y'all know that I made a video about my grandma's chocolate cake and everything. And my grandma makes the best chocolate cake. So I gotta get that recipe from her and everything. She's not gonna be around she's not gonna be around for, hopefully she's around for a good while and everything, but I gotta make sure I get that recipe. Well, anyway, so on my birthday, right, we fucking eating 15 bean soup and shit. I was like, what? 15 bean soup? Some of y'all might not know what 15 bean soup, but it should be self-explanatory. It's got 15 beans in it, and the 15 beans are different from each. It's 15 different beans. Okay? Like, you can have pinto beans, you can have navy beans, you can have fucking black eyed peas, I think. whole host of different beans. Thinking black beans too. But shit's nasty. It's nasty. And we having this bullshit on my birthday. Because my stepfather wanted to be a son bitch, basically. And everything. And I remember one time, it was around like Christmas or whatever. All I wanted for Christmas was an Optimus Prime Transformer Generation 2. That's the only thing I wanted. That was the only thing that was going to make me happy that Christmas. Because I love me some Transformers, and I'm not apologizing for that right there and anything. Because even though I had this gender conflict and I was a girl inside, I still love action figure toys. So let's not be stereotypical and anything. So my mom was like, well, your stepfather's not going to like it. I looked at her like, I don't give a shit what he don't like. Or whatever. I'm like, this is my Christmas present. My Christmas present. Not his. Oh my God. So she took it back and everything. And talk about feeling low. I was feeling low that Christmas and everything. Yeah, so, and then on top of that, the depression, the meat of the depression is this. Is that my stepfather, he was good for saying, making you think certain things were reality and everything. Because at a young age, you're like susceptible. You're like real susceptible. Like you don't have that, like that natural backbone to stand up to like, people and everything. Because you don't have that confidence yet. And I didn't have that confidence yet. The confidence that I have now is the confidence that I've gotten over the years of like, the shit that I had to deal with and everything. So he would always say to me that I'm antisocial, that I'm not going to amount to anything, that my father is no good, and, just constantly say that stuff. And then, like, on top of that, not feeling like I'm being appreciated by my own family that I'm supposed to be part of. Like, never being told, like, like I matter, that you care about me. After a while, that brings you down, and you start to, like, think this shit is true. And I did start to think this shit is true and anything. And it depressed the hell out of me. It depressed the hell out of me so much that I wanted to go to school 7 days. I wanted to go to school 7 days a week. It was that bad. It was that bad. And see, some people don't realize that and anything. Like, those years was tough. And I'm talking about from like 1990 to probably like year 2000. That's how long I was under the roof of my mom and my stepfather and anything. And during them years, my stepfather, he was bitch. He was bitch. I'm just gonna say that. He was a bitch. He was a bastard and anything. And I don't talk to him to this day. And anything. I since put him in his place, but all that stuff he put me through, it was uncalled for. It was totally uncalled for and everything. And those are scars that I've learned to put that in a certain place where it don't affect me no more and anything, because I just said, I since put him in his place. I'm not scared of that man. But at that time in my life, I was scared of him and anything. Like, I was just like, is today gonna be a good day? Is today gonna be a good day? Is today gonna be the day where I'm told, I'm no good, I'm never gonna amount to anything, I'm worthless, like I can't do nothing right? Is that gonna be the day? And then some of y'all hopefully some of y'all can relate to me and anything. Being told that about 365 days out of the year, you start to believe that shit. And it brings you down. Like, you don't never have a break from it. And then on top of that, to have your own mama not stand up for you and stop this bullshit from happening, it's a recipe for a disaster and anything. And the only thing, and I'm going to say this, the only thing that got me through this is that I constantly prayed every night. I prayed every night to God, it's got to get better. It's got to get better than this. It has got to get better. It's got to get better. I was like, I know that I'm worthy. Even though I have this gender conflict or whatever, I know it's got to get better than this. It can't get no worse. And see, I I felt like, I couldn't confide in anyone. I couldn't tell anyone what was going on, anything. I kept it in. I kept all of this in. And it wore me down, it wore me down, it wore me down, it wore me down. To the point where I didn't smile at all. I never smiled. Never. I never smiled. The one time I can remember smiling was like when I was probably like 4 or 5 and everything. And this is around the time where, I didn't realize like, I had a gender issue. And this is way before my stepfather came into my life. This is where I was just carefree. Totally carefree. And I could smile. Now, since I've gotten my smile back. It's back and it's never going nowhere. Because I am confident in who I am. And I thank God that I'm still here. I thank God every day that I'm still here. Because during those times of like, being under that roof with my stepfather and my mom, that was the first time I contemplated like, taking my life and anything. Because like I just said, constantly being told like, you're no good, you're worthless, you're antisocial, and you're never gonna amount to anything. You start to think to yourself like, do these people even care about me? Do they even care about my well-being? Do they appreciate me? Because apparently they don't appreciate me. So I might as well just like end it now. End it now. I had those type of feelings and everything, but thank God I didn't act on them and everything. I thought them. That was the first time I thought them, because I remember I was in my room. I had my music on, and I just felt really low. Like I was like, Lord, take me now. I was like, take me now, because I can't deal with this shit. I don't know who I can talk to about this shit. Anything, because I don't feel like I have anyone that I can talk to anything. And so I basically withdrew into my music. Like, music meaning like listening to the radio, listening to like, just songs. So like put myself somewhere else. And then that also spawned my like, my love for movies. I like to watch a lot of movies and everything. Still, even to this day. Because I could put myself into that movie at that particular time to help me escape my reality. And then also like, I would read a lot of books. Now I love Stephen King books because they're, they're scary and shit and everything. But I would read other books too. But, I would do that to escape my reality. It was all about escaping my reality, so I wouldn't be present at whatever moment, so I can like, somehow keep some semblance of like, okay, let me keep my interior somewhere else. The exterior is gonna go through all this bullshit and everything. So that's probably another reason why I didn't transition at a younger age, or why I didn't come out with that shit and everything. Because my exterior, the him that I was the one who went through all that bullshit and everything. But me right now, I was in the inside being protected from that shit. Because if I knew that I was on the outside and receiving that shit, motherfucker would probably wouldn't been dead. I hate to say that, but something would went down, because I'm like this. I don't tolerate no bullshit. No, I don't tolerate no bullshit. And I would have lashed out and anything. So I'm glad that, me right now didn't witness that. Some of my trans sisters and my trans brothers, y'all understand what I'm talking about and anything. Because it's like that metamorphosis. The caterpillar was the one that took the whole brunt of all that emotional abuse. As for me, the butterfly, I witnessed it. I didn't take it on. I witnessed it and everything. I was protected from that. Because if I knew, if my stepfather knew that I was different like that, it would have been hell on earth. As they say, it would have been hell on earth. And then I don't know if I would have survived it or not. I don't know. So that's why I'm thankful that I didn't transition until I was like way into college, and I was out of that environment and everything. So that was one time where I was, feeling really low. Okay. The fourth time that I was feeling really low and really depressed or whatever is like when I was in college. And I've had 2 mental breakdowns in my life. 2 mental breakdowns, just like where I just broken down because I was overwhelmed and everything. And I couldn't figure out why I was overwhelmed. That my excuse was like, trying to be an art major, getting to like graphic design or whatever was like stressing me out because I was like having migraine headaches and everything. And my vision would be jumping all over the place. Like it was just all over the place and everything. And it was wigging me out and everything. But the underlying reason why I had those mental breakdowns is because I wasn't being myself. I wasn't being my authentic, true self and anything. I was like denying myself from being myself and anything. And what I mean by that is like I was denying my true nature. My true nature is that I'm a female, and I was denying myself, and my body was starting to have a reaction to me, like not being my true self and everything. And I was trying to be like strong-minded and like just block it out, because I knew if I came out with this, I would turn what little world that I had completely upside down and everything. So I had that first mental breakdown, and just I pushed it aside. I was like, okay, I said to myself, I gotta hold it together. And everything. So that was that first mental breakdown. The second mental breakdown I remember having is when my dad's education coordinator, she had called me into her office, and she was like, Young, why? She's like, Young, I can't have you in front of the kids looking all serious and everything, and looking all mean, because when I say I look mean 24/7. I never smile because I hated what was going on with me. I hated the fact that I could see females, and they have curves and everything like that, and like they're able to get pregnant and stuff, and it just depressed the hell out of me that I'm stuck in what I'm stuck in, and I can't be me. And so that depressed the hell out of me and everything, and it made me bitter. It basically made me bitter and anything. And so she had picked up on like I can't have you in front of like young kids, like trying to be a dad's education teacher, and your physical appearance is like that. Like it's not like pleasing and anything. And you're just looking like serious and mean all the time and stuff like that. So when she told me that, she told me like well, I need to like figure out whatever is going on. I need to figure it out and anything if I want to continue like trying to pursue to becoming a dance education. I can't speak. Dance education teacher and anything. So she was telling me like maybe you need to look into other options. So she like directed me to the career center. So as I was walking to the career center, I had this thought like I should end it all. I should just end this. Like, let me just jump in front of the first car I see and anything and be done with this. Just be done with this, because at that moment in time, like I was like, I can't deal with this no more. Like it's gotten me to a low place and everything where I'm like contemplating taking my own life and stuff. So as I was walking to the career center, and I had that thought about like jumping in front of the first car that I see or whatever, something inside me was like, don't do that, don't give up on yourself, because it has to get better. It's just gonna take time or whatever. And it did take time. It did take time, because there was a couple of other factors that finally made me come out and everything. That finally made me come out and be the individual that I was meant to be. And I don't look back. Like I do not look back and anything, because now in this day and time or whatever, I'm happy with who I am and where I'm going with my life, because I'm finally my authentic self. But even though, like, you know, I might show, like, you know, a confident demeanor, that has happened over time. But I still have feelings, emotions, and everything. I'm not 24/7, like, you know, like gusto and anything like that. I have moments where I'm low and anything, but I know how to deal with those moments now and anything. So I'm saying to anyone that is feeling low and feeling depressed and anything, it will get better. It will get better. You have to be patient with yourself. You have to be patient with yourself. But if you need help, seek out that help. Don't be stubborn and think you can do it by yourself. If you need to talk to a therapist, which I've talked to a gender therapist, and at the time I was talking about my depression too and everything, it helps. It helps to get this all off your chest and everything. It helps. And if you have to go on medication, you have to go on medication and everything. But don't get so low where you think the world would be a better place without you. Because you matter. Everyone matters. Everyone matters. Someone will miss you. Someone will miss you. So hopefully with, you know, sharing my low points in my life, hopefully, like, you know, this video touches somebody and anything. Because I'm be honest. I'm being real right now. This type of video might not get that many hits and anything, because a lot of people don't like to hear about, like, you know, really low, dark, depressing stuff and anything. They want to hear about all the, you know, happy-go-lucky, giddy type of stuff, and don't want to hear about the serious stuff, like, you know, that people deal with on a daily basis and anything. Because I'm like this. I have my bad days and I have my good days. But when I have my bad days, I don't stay in that mode long. I don't stay in that mode too long and everything. Because I've been down there and I'm not trying to be there. I am not trying to be there. I'm trying to keep it moving and everything. So, in closing, keep at it. Stay strong.